Guys, finding information on this story was a real challenge. It was a challenge trying to find pictures of this woman, trying to find any level of social media, even trying to find the boy, even having his entire name was damn near impossible to find pictures of him. But I am positive that what we have is accurate. I want to be able to pay tribute and homage to him. He's passed away. He is no longer at risk. And I feel like the world needs to be able to see his face because I believe his face, his name, his embodiment, his life mattered. His life mattered. It mattered to me, and I think it matters to a lot of people. I'm going to tell his story and tell you guys exactly what I believe his mother and possibly boyfriend watched and didn't give a damn about, which is also an accessory to a crime. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but let me give you guys a disclaimer and let's get it. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I'm getting this story from SeattleTimes.com, so thank you very much for the article. Again, this article coming from SeattleTimes.com. Thank you guys for the article. The 14-year-old boy who was beaten to death on January the 30th, so this was only a week or two ago, in his mother's Beacon Hill home had more than 1,000 separate injuries. And when I saw this, when y'all emailed it to me, thank you for those who used my email, the afcmatters@gmail.com. I looked at it and I was just like, what do you mean 1,000 injuries? You said it's Brevard. I'm sorry if I read that wrong. 1,000 separate injuries? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that slavery talk here in a minute about that beating and hitting people. 1,000 separate injuries. We'll get into that here in a minute. According to charging documents filed by King County Superior Court on Tuesday. And I hope y'all guys didn't come for the news because this ain't a news station. I'm here to give my opinion about the news. Okay? This is not the news. This is giving my opinion about the news. The mother's name is Denaya, Denaya, middle name J as in John, last name Young, Yong, 29 years old. Let me say this again. 29 years old. I'm going to read this and I'm going to see if y'all catch it before I say it. The mother is 29 years old. She beat her 14-year-old son to death January the 30th at her home. She is charged Tuesday with second-degree murder in connection with her son's killing. The boy was injured so much that King County Medical Examiner's Office determined that he had suffered sudden inflammatory response syndrome, in which blood is sent to so many parts of the body to heal them that there is none left to sustain the heart. I have never heard of that. That sounds like some slavery type shit. Have y'all ever heard of somebody getting a spanking, a whooping, a beating so bad that they suffer SIRS? It is referred to as sudden inflammatory response syndrome. What it does, Mrs. Alicia F. caught it. Thank you. I was wondering who was going to catch that. We'll get back to that here in a minute. We're going to get back to that age here in a minute. Some of y'all didn't catch that. Some of y'all that went right over your head. That syndrome is which blood is sent to so many parts of the body to try to heal the body that there is not enough blood to sustain the heart. That's how much she beat this child. When have y'all ever heard of somebody getting an ass whooping that bad before? Taurus, no. Take it back one more year. Had him at 15, got pregnant at what age? We'll get back to that here in a minute. Some of y'all caught that. The medical examiner's office documented that there are at least 1,100 1,172. Repeat it. 1,172 marks on Jameer Demetrius James Robinson's body. That is his whole name. Jameer, Jemiere, Demetrius, D'Ametrius, James spelled traditionally, Robinson spelled traditionally. 1,172 marks on his body, including 74 that were on his face and head, and the majority of which apparently were inflicted during a single event. Can y'all please tell me, what age did she get pregnant with this child? We're talking about the mentality. If you guys have not heard, I don't know how true this is, but I know I've heard it before. Because only women really go through this. The word is, I don't know if this is science, but the word is that whatever age a woman has a child is where her mind will stay as far as her development. How many of you guys have ever heard that? Let me repeat it again. When we're talking about mental maturity, they say that the mind that a woman has her child at is the mentality that her mind will stay. That means she got pregnant at least age 14 years old. Do y'all remember the Desire Harris case? What age did she get pregnant? 13. This girl got pregnant at 14. Makes you wonder who the baby's father is. But nonetheless, moving forward, her being the age of 29 years old, how much do y'all think she loved her son? Her firstborn, and maybe even her only child, to hit him so bad. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Sometimes people who are raised in a spanking household like I was, sometimes people have a tendency to pass that same behavior down to their children and think it's okay to spank their kids, at least in the same manner. But you usually don't go worse. You usually do the same or maybe less. How many of you guys have ever heard of somebody doing worse than they've ever received? You want to know how I know it's worse than she's ever received? Because she's not dead and she don't have a million beat marks all over her body. Something had to have clicked to let you know that this level of beating, whips, welts, screaming, hollering, blood, and to the fact that it led to death, didn't tell you. Maybe you haven't watched enough slave movies. Hell, I mean, how many y'all know how many slave movies have ever been created? Every time I turn on freaking YouTube, Tubi, Prime, Netflix, they always got a brand new freaking slave movie I've never heard of. You know what the effects are of taking a whip to a back of a person, and maybe you saw that and you said, you know what? They survived that, so my son's body ought to be able to survive that. But maybe the lashings, thank you. But maybe the part that you don't realize is how many slaves at that time died from their injuries, from the cuts, and from the damage. Are people that fucking stupid? Whether she being young or not, at this current age, she's 29 years old. She's not a child, almost 30 years old. You think she's that goddamn stupid that she didn't understand that that level of beating could kill a person? And you killed him for what? Y'all want to know what she killed him for? Y'all want to know what she killed him for? Y'all got to hear this. Y'all got to hear this. Brace. Oh, you know what? This might be shocking to some of y'all. The following content contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some of y'all listening to my damn video. Viewer discretion is advised, or maybe you need to get some thick skin or exit my video. Y'all ready for this? Thank you for hitting them hearts. I see that. I like that. Thank y'all for hitting the hearts. That helps too. Hit that thumbs up, please. Y'all ready for this? If y'all are looking at my shirt and wonder what hope means, hope, H-O-P-E, honorable, optimistic, perseverance, and enlightenment. Brace yourselves for this. The mother, Danae J. Young, allegedly beat her son, Jameer Demetrius James Robinson, for 3 hours until the boy stopped breathing. Y'all want to get mad that I cuss and I fuss and I use language you don't like? But what are you going to do when you see situations like this happen? When you see something, are you going to say something? Are you going to report it? Are you going to make a difference in your household? Are you going to stop spanking your kids? Are you going to stop using these Neanderthal slavery tactics to allegedly try to get a kid to do what it is that you want them to do? Parenting is done from the mind, not from this. How many times have y'all heard me say that? Parenting is done in the mind. Stop being lazy. Beating a kid is lazy parenting. Common sense would tell you that this is not right and you don't do it. She's lucky to have gotten second-degree murder as a charge, because I think that's all you can charge her with. What did you think was going to happen? 3 fucking hours. Not 1 hour, not one minute of spanking. I want y'all to think about this. Anybody, can y'all raise your hand? Who has ever gotten a spanking before in the chat? Y'all can answer in the chat. Sherry, Marion, Christina, Genevieve, Church Lady, Rachel, Princess, Avis, anybody in the chat. How many of y'all have ever gotten a spanking before with a belt or with some object? Don't y'all think that 60 seconds, 1 minute, is enough of a spanking when that is inflicted upon you? That is enough damage for you to get the point. Yes or no on that? Is 60 seconds enough for you to get the fucking point? Keep in mind, that's 1 minute of spanking. Of hard-ass, abusive-ass spanking. 1 minute. Let alone 2 minutes. Let alone 3 minutes, which is triple that. Let alone 4 minutes, that's quadruple that. Let alone 5 minutes. Let alone 10 minutes. Let alone 15 minutes. Let alone 30 minutes. Let alone 1 hour. It wasn't 1 hour of beating. There was 2 hours of beating, and it wasn't 2 hours of beating. There was a whole nother level of evil that this individual had in her, which is why I believe that they probably could get a conviction on a first-degree murder charge, because how demented can you be? What did you think was going to happen if you sit there and beat on anything that is living and has a heartbeat for 3 freaking hours? What can survive if you beat it for 3 hours? Boxers can't survive if you constantly beat them unopposed for 3 hours. And they train their entire lives for that. MMA fighters would not survive for 3 hours if you beat them unopposed. I'm going to be nasty and disgusting for a moment, but I just want y'all to get my point. If a man beat his meat for 3 hours unopposed, Do you think his dick would survive if you beat your dick for 3 hours nonstop? I told y'all that I was going to say some things that might not sit well with your sensibilities. And I told y'all I was going to say exactly what I'm thinking, and that was what I was thinking. Sorry. We grown in here. Last time I checked, I don't have any kids watching my channel. Maybe I do. I don't know. The point, how do you have that much energy, and what wrong can any human do to deserve not a 1 minute beating, not a 5 minute beating, not a 10-minute beating, not a 15-minute beating, which is already excessive? Not 30 minutes, not an hour, not 2 hours, 3 hours of non-stop beating. And she beat her son until he stopped breathing. How sadistic is this woman? She beat her son until he stopped breathing. Robinson had lived with his mother since August. He originally had to come visit Young, but she did not return him to his legal guardian, which is her sister. Clearly, with her being 15 years of age, of course, somebody had to help her raise this child, because she shouldn't have had a child being underage and being that young. And she didn't have custody. So you killed a person that you didn't even have to be a parent to. You killed a person that you were not the parent, the custodial parent to. You killed a person that you could have left him where he was at and went on with your boyfriend and your happy little life, and didn't have to do that. She didn't even have legal rights. Now, how evil is that? Y'all don't think they could get a first-degree murder conviction on that? Now y'all see why I had to do this story. That's why I had to put the face out there. I needed y'all to see. And on top of that, I think her boyfriend was around while this beating was happening, if I'm not mistaken, which I think that they need to look into that. They probably are. You're going to probably see some more charges. This is just the beginning of this. Make this story go viral, please. The prosecutor wrote that Robinson cried for help, while his stepfather, the mom's boyfriend, 5-month-old brother, 5 months. So she's still making children, Jesus. And 4 and 6-year-old sisters. So she got 4 freaking kids. All of them were in the house. So that means the stepfather, mom's boyfriend, sat and watched this, and he didn't do anything but let it happen. According to a probable cause affidavit, Young told police that she began beating her son because he did not do his chores and she went too far. That was her reason, allegedly. Seattle police officers and fire department medics responded to the home on January 30th after Young called 911 and told dispatchers that she had been spanking Robinson with an extension cord when he became unresponsive. Medics took him to Harbor View Medical Center, where he died shortly after arriving. Young waited 5 minutes to call 911 after Robinson collapsed and stopped moving, according to charging documents. Y'all hear that? 5 minutes she waited. She didn't give a shit. When an officer approached Young, the mother, she said, "This was me," and I later said, "I let my anger get the best of me with the extension cord," according to an affidavit. After being read her Miranda rights, she told officers that she lost count. She said that she lost count of how many times she hit her son with the cord. And I'm going to tell y'all, they have more than 1,100 injury marks that they can prove that this boy was struck. Let me ask y'all this. If you take away her age and you change her sex over to switch boyfriend with the mom, and you hear, what if y'all heard that the boyfriend did this to this boy? And let's just say it wasn't the mother. Let's just say it was the boyfriend who hit this boy 1,172 times. Beat him until he passed out for 3 hours. And you hear that the boyfriend did it. Do you think he's going to get second-degree murder for that? If the boyfriend did it? She said, "I should have listened because he kept telling me, 'I'm dizzy. Mom, I'm dizzy.' And I kept telling him, 'Stand up.'" Young told an officer, according to court documents, adding that her son fell multiple times and he asked her and begged her to stop. She told police that she began abusing the boy in November, according to the affidavit. The medical examiner's office found 10 to 20 injuries that appeared to be before the January 30th attack. The boy's stepfather, mom's boyfriend, repeatedly told the officer that he didn't discipline Robinson because that's not his place. According to court documents, the boyfriend, I'm not going to call him the stepfather. He ain't no fucking stepfather. The boyfriend saw Young chase the boy up and down their 3-story townhome, repeatedly hitting him. He told officers he did not intervene because my best bet is to mind my own business. That's what the boyfriend said. He said he later found Young panicking and Robinson was not breathing, which is when they called 911. Young remains held in the King County Jail on a $3 million bail. Her next court date is scheduled for February 13th, which is in 2 days at 8:30 a.m. Maybe we can find that. Maybe we can post it and share it. But I think the boyfriend deserves charges too. He saw something, didn't say anything. Let's get into the news videos. We only got a couple. Here we go.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
I'm just curious if I'm going to start seeing people in my comments section and going to try to defend this. What are y'all going to say? You're going to say the mother has the right to do what she wants? Or y'all going to say that because she's a black queen, she can do what she wants? I'm just wondering, are y'all going to say I'm being a coon for getting on to the mother for beating her son to death? I don't know. Y'all do me a favor and make this story go viral, please. All you got to do is share it in all the right places. Hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, watch it, and send it to everybody that you know.
There's a broken window at the home where police say a mother killed her 14-year-old son. A jail report says the woman told investigators her son did not complete his chores and she was angry. After an hour of beating the boy, police say he went unresponsive and the woman waited 5 minutes before calling 911. The boy went to the hospital where he died. The mother was booked into jail for murder.
Is Young, is she intending to come out? Oh, no, Your Honor.
At a bail hearing Friday afternoon, the mother refused to appear in court. Despite that, her public defender argued for her to be released from custody.
Given her limited history and the fact that it appears that she cooperated with law enforcement and the fact that she has very limited resources, I believe she should be released.
The defense attorney said the woman is in grief at the loss of the son she is accused of killing.
I acknowledge the seriousness of these facts, but this also involves a mother losing her son and significant trauma she's experiencing from that. I also argue there'll be additional trauma on top of that if she's incarcerated.
Police outlined the disturbing attack in a report, saying the woman mercilessly beat her child for an hour, including using an extension cord to spank him.
This assault happened over an hour. A 14-year-old child, extension cords. He struck his head, he lost consciousness, and she continued to beat him, and then failed to call for emergency services.
Neighbors we spoke to said they didn't know the family well and they hadn't seen any issues at the home until now. Mary, a defense attorney went as far today as asking a judge to release this woman from custody, saying she's dealing with the trauma of the loss of her son, the same son who she is accused of beating to death for not doing his chores. There's a broken window at the home where police say a mother killed her 14-year-old son. A jail report says the woman told investigators her son did not complete his chores and she was angry. After an hour of beating the boy, police say he went unresponsive and the woman waited 5 minutes before calling 911. The boy went to the hospital where he died. The mother was booked into jail for murder.
Is young? Is she intending to come out?
Oh, no, Your Honor.
At a bail hearing Friday afternoon, the mother refused to appear in court. Despite that, her public defender argued for her to be released from custody.
This is the last thing I'm going to comment, and I'm going to let this other video play out. I get that the public defenders have a certain job to do. Common sense would tell you, but common sense ain't that common. Why would you argue that somebody should be released from prison, knowing these details, knowing these charges, and you're asking that they be released because they respect the courts enough that they will attend their court date and adhere to bail conditions, but she won't even adhere to showing up in front of the judge? Do you think that she's going to show back up in court if she gets out? When she won't even show up in front of the judge and she ain't got nothing but time sitting in prison, sitting in jail? Don't you think that's a little bit... They should have drug her out there. Thank you. She don't even have the decency to stand in front of the person that her representative is asking for her to get released. She don't even have the decency to stand on that. So why would you ask for her to be released? I think that's pretty damn stupid.
Come out?
Oh, no, Your Honor.
At a bail hearing Friday afternoon, the mother refused to appear in court. Despite that, her public defender argued for her to be released from custody.
Given her limited history and the fact that it appears that she cooperated with law enforcement and the fact that she has very limited resources, I believe she should be released.
The defense attorney said the woman is in grief at the loss of the son she is accused of killing.
I acknowledge the seriousness of these facts, but this also involves a mother losing her son and significant trauma she's experiencing from that. I also argue there'll be additional trauma on top of that if she's incarcerated.
Police outlined the disturbing attack in a report, saying the woman mercilessly beat her child for an hour, including using an extension cord to spank him.
This assault happened over an hour. A 14-year-old child, extension cords. He struck his head, he lost consciousness, and she continued to beat him, and then failed to call for emergency services.
Neighbors we spoke to said they didn't know the family well and they hadn't seen any issues at the home until now. So we're not naming the woman yet because she hasn't been charged. Prosecutors say they expect that to happen by next Tuesday. For now, the judge set bail at $3 million and the woman remains here.
Police have arrested a 29-year-old Seattle woman accused of killing her teenage son. Seattle police say they responded to a domestic violence situation this afternoon at an apartment along 14th Avenue South. They found a 14-year-old boy who was badly hurt. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. His mother is now in jail. being investigated for homicide.
You know what I just thought about? I think with that public defender asking for her to be released, I think she was just practicing. Honestly, I think that was probably just practice for her. She couldn't have thought, there's no way she could have been that damn stupid to think that she was going to present a proper argument for this woman to get bail when she can't even stand in front of the judge. Matter of fact, you're in jail. Should you not have to be forced to be standing out there, be in the courtroom? They already have you in custody. I think that's her boyfriend, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he's just like, no, sorry, Bob's not his job. He sees something. He ain't got to say nothing. I think his ass needs to be in prison too for contributing to the delinquency and death of this minor and watching him die with your kids, probably his kids in the house who watched this child abuse and murder go on. Get the boyfriend too. Hashtag get the boyfriend too. I think both of them need a lot of time in prison. The mother never needs another day in our earth anymore among normal people. She needs prison time forever. Forever. Y'all remember Stevante Clark? Forever. Forever. She does not deserve reproductive organs, reproductive rights, nor the ability to be able to live among the free ever again. You just can't be this level of dumb, and these people go above and beyond stupid. You can't be this level of dumb. All right? So to those children, keep those other children in your prayers, that somebody else can raise them so that they can grow up and become something great. To this young man, young Prince, R.I.P. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Am I a little bit too rough in my descriptions? Well, I think I need to be a lot more vivid with the way I talk about these stories, all right? And I'm going to start giving it to you real, and that's just the way it is, all right? Thank you, guys. Make this go viral, please.